Hey everybody, on today's podcast, we're going to be talking to Todd Ortsheid about his new service offering and Property Manager Assist. Check it out.
Welcome to the Property Management Mastermind Show with your host, Brad Larson. Brad owns one of the fastest growing property management companies in San Antonio, Texas. This podcast is for property managers by property managers. You'll hear from industry-leading professionals on best practices, new ideas, success stories, and lessons learned. This is your opportunity to learn about the latest industry buzz surrounding property management, as well as tips and strategies to improve your business.
As a property manager, it's important for your business and your bottom line to work with the right insurance partner. But getting the right coverage for all parties involved isn't always easy. That's where Steadily.com comes in. Steadily is the industry leader in landlord insurance, offering fast, affordable coverage online in just a few clicks. Steadily works with property managers nationwide to ensure their portfolios of managed properties and provides guaranteed listing as additional insured with easy online visibility into property insurance coverages. With top-of-market referral fees, Steadily also helps you drive extra revenue per door while bringing tremendous value to your clients. That's why property managers nationwide rate Steadily 4.8 out of 5 stars. Find out how Steadily can save you time and help you earn extra revenue. To get started, visit Steadily.com/partners/PMM or email us at partners@steadily.com and mention that you heard us on the PMM podcast.
Imagine a world where the phone doesn't ring, but tenant leads still get pre-qualified and scheduled. Where in-person showings get coordinated automatically in real time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Where occupants and owners are automatically notified of showings and leasing reports. Or imagine no one has to show your rentals, and they get leased faster than ever, safely and securely. That's the world of Tenant Turner. Come learn more about our beautiful scheduling software and world-class customer support. Call us 888-976-4638 or visit www.tenantturner.com.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the Property Management Mastermind Show. I'm your host, Brad Larson, and today we are live and in person at PMM Con 2022 here at the Red Rock Resort in Las Vegas. And since we're live, I've got Todd Ortsheid with me. I grabbed him over there off a table. He was having lunch. I said, "Hey man, you want to do a podcast?" He's like, "On what?" I'm like, "Good question. On what? Let's just go over there and start talking." No, honestly, I wanted to pin you down and talk to you more about your new maintenance company offering because I think that's pretty fascinating. A lot of people have questions about it. There's other solutions out there, and I think there's always room for competition. There's always room for improvements. And so I wanted to talk more about that specifically. So give us a few minutes to intro yourself, and then let's talk about that maintenance program.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here at PMM Con, which I keep telling everybody is the best PM conference in the industry. So fantastic. But yeah, we've got the new maintenance company going on. But just about me, I've been in property management for about 11 years now, I guess it is. Revolution Rental Management's my management company. We're in Georgia and Florida and about to be South Carolina. And I've kind of branched out and done some other things as well.
Time out. South Carolina?
Yes.
Are you buying somebody?
I am. Another one.
When do you get to disclose that?
We close on the 13th of next month, so that'll be the 13th of June.
What range of homes will you be managing?
That's going to be an additional 300 homes.
Okay. So I want to it's 313 homes in this location, and then people are like, "Oh, we know exactly who that is," you know? Okay, so it's South Carolina. That's a good chunk of homes into an acquisition. That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because you're one of the unique few that can manage in several different markets.
Yeah, we centralize pretty much everything except the boots on the ground, go out to the property, take photos, that kind of. Everything else is handled either remotely in Mexico or in our office in Atlanta.
Yeah, you and I are a lot alike there. We do a lot of remote team members, and other than stick a sign in the yard and take pictures of a renewal, I mean, you can do a lot of that remote, all of it remote. It's crazy a couple things now, just a side tangent. Our application processing is done all remote because the remote team member we have, she's so good. Her name is Fernanda, and she's been with us for 4+ years that I no longer had to replace my other leasing coordinator that's in the office for, a god-awful high salary. We turned it over to Fernanda. And so she's in Mexico doing our full-time lease application handling. This is 400 lease agreements a year we typically do. And so she's handling what? 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 applications a year, all remotely.
Yep.
So that's a unique one. That was kind of like, oh, do we really want to do this? Because it's a big thing to take off of a local team member's plate. But the locals were like, nobody comes in anymore unless they're giving us a security deposit check or something, or the amount due to reserve property. They're not coming in. They sign remotely. They go to the home. We removed the optional lockbox move-in and made it mandatory.
Oh, yeah.
That's my point. It's like they're just doing it. Like, don't come to the office, go straight to the home and do the lockbox.
Yeah.
It's just a tangent because we're talking remote team members, and that was a big thing for me. The other big thing is we actually are now answering our phones live. So we removed the call prompter.
So there's none of the...
No call prompter, no press 1, no press 2 crap. It's like you're getting a live person, and it's just like calling a Keller Williams franchise.
Sure.
Make it a great day, Todd. You know what I mean? And anyway, a couple side tangents on remote team members, because you and I are both big believers in that.
Oh, yeah.
The boots on the ground can handle it. So congratulations on your new acquisition. That's a big deal. Growth is always good, and that's a great way to do it. Let's circle back and talk about your maintenance company, because I think what you did is you identified a need or an opportunity, and you've honed in with your already existing acumen of business mindset, and you just started a new company. So tell me more about it.
Yeah, so it actually wasn't my idea. I mean, I had kind of thought about it, a year or two ago on the maintenance hotline side, but I kind of put the idea aside. I said, there's a couple other players in the market, I'm going to stay out. And then, a few months ago, Lori Wilder, who's my business partner now in this business, came to me and said, hey, I've got background in this. I've been doing it for one of the competitors, but I want to go and start my own thing. Would you be interested in basically running the business side of that for me? And, I'll put together a couple partners and, get this going. And I said, it sounds like a good idea to me, because even though there are several solutions out there, I personally haven't been happy with any of them. I know it's what a lot of people think is a gap in the market is a really good solution for maintenance hotlines. So I was interested in doing it, and we got that up and running in just 3 months, basically, from the time she called.
Okay.
So, and it's exploded in growth since we launched in, I think, March, if I remember right. So, It's been going fantastic.
So, I mean, a couple softball questions for you, right? The first one is going to be, how is it different from some of the other competitors? Because that's what everyone else is going to want to know. Like, if they're listening to this, they probably have a management company or involved in management somehow. They probably know of the solutions out there, because it's, the 24/7 maintenance hotline. I mean, everybody's has that. Side story, and I'll let you answer that question. So I first implemented a hotline like this, and that player is no longer even around the market.
Oh, yeah.
Sold and gone. And I did that on July 4th weekend. I think it was 2013. And I distinctly remember that because I was small.
It's way back.
Yeah, I was, 150, 200 homes, and I was somewhat smaller. And I was still taking phone calls for dealing with that junk. And I hired that 24/7 call center thing, and the phones just stopped ringing all of a sudden. It was like a revelation, right? And so I can imagine what you're doing for some of your customers to say, look, I understand you've been taking these calls. I understand your handyman that doesn't answer his phone has been taking these calls in air quotes. Now we're going to do that for you and do it really, really professionally. So back to that original question, tell me more about how you're different from some of these other players.
So I think there's two major differences. The first would be one of the major competitors we have has their own software. They're really more of a tech company, and I'm always the first one to tell everyone I do not do tech. I implement a lot of technology, but I'm not running a tech company. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to run a service-based business where we're making sure that the phone calls are getting answered and people are being dispatched. I'm not interested in putting together my own software package. So, a lot of people aren't able to use some of the solutions that are out there because they're on Property Meld or they're on Rentvine or whatever they may be on, and they don't want to have to use someone else's software to handle their maintenance. They want to use what they're already using. Through us, that's possible. We don't have our own software package you have to use. You can use whatever you want, and we work with all the major software companies. So that's not an issue. The other thing is the other companies are using backup call centers. So a lot of what you'll find when you call in is they're busy. They don't have the staffing, so it kicks over to a secondary, basically just an answering service that they have. They take a message and then call the tenant back once the call center people are available again.
Right.
We're not doing that. We're overstaffing the company so that when you call into us, there's no hold times. There's no being kicked over to a second call center. You're going to get our people who know this stuff inside and out. So our idea here has been a premium level of service without all the tech trappings. We're just trying to solve your problem with premium service levels.
Because the roadblock there, and this is from years back when I was looking at this solution, I remember one, you'd have to use their software. And you said, well, wait, can't you just log into mine? I think I was on Appfolio at the time. Can't you just log into Appfolio and do some of these things that you were talking about? And the answer was no. I mean, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I'm like, okay, well, so we have to use your after-hours maintenance software thing and do double entry. Is that what you're telling us? And where are all the notes? And where's all the stuff that we need to have that shows that this person called in? And anyway, my point being is, so now you just, I mean, how does that work? You just get the login for them, or they create another user?
Yeah, typically what they do is they'll create a user for us so we can just log into their software and get whatever, or do whatever we need to do there. So, I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're on Appfolio, RentFind, whatever. We're happy to work with it.
Yeah, they go down to like a user-only scale or something.
Yeah,
right?
you can always set your user
That's right.
limits, your permissions, whatever
That's
your
right.
individual software calls it. And then, we're not going to have access to all your accounting information
Right.
and all that other stuff. We're just there to do maintenance. That's all we care about. And to check your unit count is basically all we need to know. So, that isn't a problem for us. We're happy to do that with anybody's software, or if you're using Property Meld, something that's, an outsourced solution that's not in your main property management software. We use that all the time too. So,
Okay.
if the benefit there, I say to the property manager, isn't just that you're in one software, it's also that you own your data, which is always a big thing for me. When you're going to somebody and they have their own proprietary software, they have your data at that point. So if you leave that company, now you're losing all that information that they had stored in their system. You don't have access to that anymore. When you're using your own software, you don't have to worry about that. You're always going to have that. If you cancel my service, you've got everything still available in your software.
That's a good deal, and I like the fact you work with Property Meld, because a lot of the PM clients that we understand and know of, they either know of Property Meld or use Property Meld. And the other side of that, I'm kind of interested in, is the data side of it. Keeping that data, that's key, because again, what if you close down?
Yeah.
Right. What if your servers are down? And answering let me ask you, I guess, an easier question. Can you set your own limitations for what you define as an emergency?
Yes, absolutely. So everything we do is completely customizable. So we use a special scripting call routing software when your call comes in, number one, we answer it in your name. So it's not us. It's all purely white labeled. So someone would call in, we would say, thank you for calling RentWorks. How can we help you? And then we would go through your procedures. So we have them all built out when we onboard you. We say, this is what your qualifications are for an emergency. This is when you want the owner to be contacted if you're having us do owner approvals.
Oh, that's big.
All of this stuff is customizable.
Stop there real quick. Explain that, because a lot of these services will make notes and then wipe their hands.
Yes.
Done. So you actually have the ability to call the owner. Say, hi, Mr. Owner, it's so-and-so from RentWorks. It's Saturday evening at 9 o'clock, and I have a technician in the driveway that needs to fix an air conditioning. They want to spend $501. Your limit is $500. I'm being facetious, but you understand the point. And yes, they reach the owner. The owner says, yeah, go ahead and make that repair. Got it. We'll do it. Thank you. We'll talk to you later. Your property manager will follow up with you Monday or something.
Absolutely.
That's impressive. And
Yeah.
I say that because that's a lot of times where the sticking points come in. Like, hey, you had a technician here Saturday evening, but no one was answering the phone to give him permission, so he had to leave.
Oh, yeah.
And, okay.
And the beauty of that is it's all customizable. So like you say, your limit might be $500. Somebody else, like at my property management company, we have no maintenance limits. It's just if we consider it to be mandatory, then it gets done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have that set also. It's just whatever you want for your systems, and it's all built out. So when somebody calls in from RentWorks, that's what pops up on the system. It shows them these are the requirements, these are what we do. Because for some clients, all we do is nights and weekends calls, and all we do is dispatch the vendor, and that's it.
Okay.
Other clients, we're doing everything all the way through follow-up. So, I mean, you could outsource your entire maintenance coordination, and we'll do everything from, not just dispatching and getting approvals and everything, but we'll keep following up until we make sure that the work's been done. So, I mean, you can do anything in between there, whatever you prefer.
Could you be a complete call center solution? So can you do the whole maintenance program?
Yes.
Oh, so everything.
Yeah. If somebody basically wants to outsource their entire maintenance operation, they can do that to us.
Okay, my limited scope of small-mindedness was only like nights and weekends.
No, not at all.
So you can actually do the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody just wants nights and weekends, that's probably about 50% of our clients is just nights and weekends because they just want that. But then we have a lot of people who want everything from, some people say, just dispatch the vendor for me and then we'll follow up. Other people say, we want you to handle all of it. Just, we don't want to have anything to do with maintenance ever again. And we're happy to do that for them too.
Remember that commercial, Where's the Beef? In property management, you could say, where's the profit? You want your business to grow, but it feels like you're just spinning your wheels. We get it, because we've been there. If you are ready to do something different in 2022, then head over to thepropertymanagementcoach.com to find out more about coaching programs and what they can do for you. Mention that you heard this ad on the Property Management Mastermind podcast and get $250 off any coaching program. Again, the website is thepropertymanagementcoach.com.
All right, so talk to me about costs. Are you able to kind of quote numbers?
Yeah, so we're actually offering discounts right now. So when you look at our website, you'll see anything from, I think it's $1.25 a unit for nights and weekends up to, I believe it's $10 a unit for the full service solution.
Is that pretty competitive?
Yes.
Think?
Those are in line or less than the competitors.
Okay.
But we actually have specials running right now since we're in our first few months of operation. We're generally discounting that about 20% for people who are signing up. So if you contact us now, you'll probably get a better rate, and we'll lock you in for at least a year on that.
Difficult question. Where are all the call center people at?
So it's split up. So originally when a call comes in, it goes to our remote team members. So we hire people out of Mexico,
okay,
for the most part. Overnight, we have people on the other side of the planet, Philippines, wherever it might be. If there's an issue that needs to be escalated, so let's say that person doesn't know how to deal with a special emergency situation. We have people in the States also who have been in property management for years upon years. So we've always got that second level where it can be escalated live. They don't have to wait. It's not, we'll get to it tomorrow. It's, okay, I can't handle that. I'm going to transfer you to our live person in the United States.
Okay.
So it's a two-level operation.
Yeah. Because I'm going back to defining emergency, because that's where you can define, like, if it's colder than X outside, you will dispatch an emergency HVAC technician to fix your heat. If it's warmer than X outside, we'll dispatch the same thing to fix your air conditioning, right? Sure. That's kind of the limitations I was thinking. Water is pretty easy to figure out, right? Hey, you got a water spill. Well, we're going to call a plumber to try to get out there right away, but in the meantime, go and turn off your valve.
Yeah. Stuff
like that. Other stuff, we have a fire in a home. Call 911, idiot. Don't call us. You get some of those questions from these tenants, I'm sure. What am I missing?
I don't know. I would just kind of elaborate on that a little bit. So, when you talk about, someone calls in and they've got a garbage disposal, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So, the big thing there is a lot of companies will just dispatch somebody. If you call into some of the call centers, all they're just going to do is automatically dispatch somebody out to take care of the issue. We don't do that. So we troubleshoot everything before we get anybody dispatched. That's included as part of the service we do. Mm-hmm. So if someone calls up and says, I got a garbage disposal problem, our people are going to walk them through how to reset the garbage disposal, clear out anything that's in it. And we have that for all kinds of different repairs across the books. We've got videos that we send out to the tenants, all that kind of stuff. So it's not only are we taking it off your plate, but we're also hopefully reducing cost for your clients who aren't going to have these frivolous maintenance calls.
That's big, because if you can show somebody, hey, this is how you press the red button on your garbage disposal, or my electrical appliances in my kitchen aren't working, this is how you reset your GFCI.
Yep.
It's a button. And honestly, we have to be like that, because in their defense, you might have younger generation people renting for the first time, renting a home for the first time. They come from apartments, they come from dorms, and everything is done for them at an apartment or a dorm. Right? So if there's any issue, they just call the local guy and they come and fix it. But in a home, it's different, because you could be 30 minutes away from the office or 2 hours away. It just depends. So it's interesting how that works, and I do love it. Pricing seems pretty fair. You had pretty good adoption so far?
Yeah, we've had, it's actually been a flood of business. I've been, overjoyed with how quickly it's grown. So, we're rapidly approaching profitability after only 3 months.
Okay.
So, and we've had great feedback from the clients we've brought on. So we have plenty of people we can refer if people want referrals.
Yeah, some might, but that will allow you to scale up accordingly. Right. Yep. Once you hit profitability, then you're like, okay, if we can take on, I don't know, for fun, $1,000, 1,000 units a week, mm-hmm. A new business, we have to scale up to this many people. And so it kind of gives you that upward trend of how many folks you got to have on hand. That's good stuff. Now, anything else on that particular offering? Because I do want to switch gears and talk about PM Assist.
No, we can switch gears.
Okay. So the background to the listeners. So Todd and I did a presentation yesterday here at the PMM Con. I was talking all about like sales, like how to retain sales inside of your company, making more sales and selling to investors to keep more homes in the inventory. ultimately raising your revenue. And so it's been a big campaign of mine is revenue raising, and of course yours.
Oh, yeah.
But you and I have been beating this drum for years. And I got stuck on the question people ask me, well, how do I do that? Well, I'd help certain people here and there, and it got kind of tedious, honestly, because people would want this, they want this for me, and I don't really want to, I will help you, but I have other shit to do, So really your solution has been fantastic because I've just been saying, go to PM Assist. He's got the what, he's got the how, it's already right there. You can subscribe to his program. It's going to make you 100 times what you spend. I mean, it's a no-brainer because it's, we talk about, well, how do I do that? I want to go to the moon. How, right? And so that is the good solution. I'm not just beating the bandwagon here, but I want to bring it up, at least from my perspective, and have you talk about it, kind of talk people about what it is.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, PM Assist has primarily been just a training platform over the past couple years. So I came out with this in the middle of the pandemic, and kind of the reason I came out with it was everybody was panicked because, I can't charge late fees anymore. My tenants aren't going to pay the rent. How am I going to make sure that the revenue keeps coming in?
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, if you're concerned about revenue, here's a solution. These are all these things that you aren't doing yet that some companies like mine are.
Mm-hmm.
Here's 75 plus different fees that we charge. So yeah, maybe you're going to lose that late fee revenue for the next year because of this pandemic, but I'll make you 10 times what you're going to lose on those late fees. So that's kind of where it all originated. And it's really you could take it at your own pace. So a lot of people get overwhelmed with this stuff. They'll say, you talk about 75 fees. I don't have time to do any of this. But the thing is, you can go through it at whatever pace you want. Once you sign up for it, you got forever access to the material. And if you want to take one fee a quarter, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go balls to the wall and just do it all now, you can do that too. And I have clients who do that.
The cool thing is not just like, hey, charge this fee. You talk about what the fee is meant to be, you talk about the background of it, and you talk about how to implement it. You put this here, you do this, you disclose it this way, you tell your owners, your tenants this way, you put it here. So the how of that is explained.
Yeah, well, not only explain, we actually provide materials. So, we'll actually give you sample lease and management agreement language that you can plug right in and say, okay, this is going to save me a bunch of time. Now, I, of course, still tell everybody run it by your lawyers.
Of course.
But, it's there ready so you don't have to come up with it yourself.
Yeah, that's significant. What does that cost right now?
$9.95. But
do you think that's going to go up?
Yeah, probably. But for right now, I'm going to say for the next, I'll give everybody 14 days after this podcast airs. If they use the code BRAD, they'll get a 10% discount.
Sweet, because I get my 75% referral fee, man. Yes, yes. No, I get nothing from it, and you'll like it. As they say on Caddyshack, you'll get nothing and like it. I just think it's a good program because, one, it kind of eliminates from me having to try and explain it because we talk about it and then we get bum rushed and I'm like, there's just a good solution there, right? And you remember Darren and Dennis from Australia?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they were coaching this stuff for a long time. I was digging through the garage the other day and I found an old printout from Darren Hunter, had 100 ways to make money in revenue, like 100 fees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen it. I might have sent it to you.
Yeah, back in the day, absolutely.
And it had it printed out on a clipboard, excuse me. And I'm like, God, these are still spot on, and they still
and
make...
still tons of people not doing any of it.
Yeah, 10 years later.
Yeah.
They still apply. And Australia's even worse. They can't charge anything to the tenants. So it all has to be like these weird creative owner fees. But if you do something for a service, then you should charge for it.
Yep.
What you also talk through is, okay, if you're going to charge this to a tenant, this is how you make the owners whole. So you're not screwing over somebody by charging, a security deposit alternative.
Yeah.
For example, if you do that, you offer this to your owners as a guarantee, and so everybody wins in that way. So you also talk to them through some of the guarantee stuff they can kind of backside on with those fees, right?
And some of that becomes a business development opportunity in some cases because you're able to offer guarantees that other companies aren't offering because of this additional revenue you're bringing in.
Yeah.
So not only are you able to kind of make them whole, you're also able to say, well, not only are you made whole, but here's this additional benefit you're getting, as a result of me doing this. So okay. I mean, it works. I'm a very big believer in the, second nature, triple win mindset. So I'm all about that. Nobody should be getting screwed just because we're making money. This should be good for everybody.
Put you on the spot here. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to think if you need it. What's the best fee program you've implemented in the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months would be our alternative income verification fee.
Oh, I heard about that one.
Yeah.
I love it because that's real deal, though. I mean, because you have to go dig. This is for like the folks that are self-employed.
self-employed, or they work at Uber, whatever it may be.
Or I can imagine we had one the other day that came in and they had no credit credit score because they had no social security number. But the bank accounts showed quite a bit of income.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're asking my team to be like, forensic accountants and trying to figure out if they make enough money to pay the rent.
Yep.
So I get that. I mean, there's 2 X's or 3 X's with it?
On the fee amount?
Yeah.
There's 3.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
That's what I say, and honestly, people don't balk at this kind of stuff. The reality is what you're doing is providing something that somebody else isn't. Whenever you do all of this kind of stuff, I always tell people that, a lot of times they're going to go to a property manager, they're going to apply, and they're saying, I'm self-employed, or I've got $200,000 in the bank, I'm good for it. And then that property manager is going to say, no, declined, you didn't pass our normal.
Yeah.
And we're saying, no, we'll do that, but here's the process you have to go through, and here's what we charge for it. And people are much happier with that. They don't want to hear no. They want to hear, well, that's unusual, we'll do it, but this is what it's going to cost you.
Fair enough. I haven't quite reached the numbers you have with revenue, but we're up there, at least on the profit margin, so we're doing good. One of the things that we did recently is, you always have these incremental increases with like application fees.
Sure.
And so that just kind of, you got to pay attention, otherwise you'll miss out. But one is we redesigned it to with the pet fee policy. So we tied in pet screening, right, or we gave them an out. So either you have 2 choices when you apply. You can go to pet screening and pay the fee and abide by whatever PAW score they come up with, or you can opt out and just pay us XX per month for whatever pet you have. So it kind of gives them the easy button. So we're getting about 50-50.
I like that. I might implement that.
Yeah, they're just saying, heck with it, I'll just take the easy button because no offense to pet screening, we do love them, but it is a little tedious. You got to apply, you got to fill in your stuff, you got to provide them shot records, you got to provide them veterinary information, you got to upload pictures, and it's a little tedious and people are busy. They're like, screw it, I'll just pay the exit out X a month. And so that's the one thing we did. I think that's a winner. Now to back that up, to make the owners whole, going back to that, we give a $2,000 pet guarantee to the owners. So we'll cover the damage of a pet type situation up to $2,000. It's no cost to you, Mr. or Mrs. Owner. It's just included to make you whole because we are keeping the pet fees.
Yep.
And owners are like, okay.
What's better for them?
Better than a pet deposit. Yeah, what's a pet deposit? $200?
$200 isn't ever going to help anybody if there's real damage to a property. That's what I keep telling everybody about this is, the owner ends up 10 times better off with the pet guarantee than they ever would under a deposit situation.
Literally 10 times.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if we did something like that, we would own that debt, so we could go after the tenant.
Yep.
So it's really a no-lose situation. It's great for marketing. It's a great in the explanation process of pets. We tie it into our 21-day rental guarantee as well. So if you want us to rent your home in 21 days, you have to allow for pets, right? I mean, otherwise, how can we rent your home that fast?
Yeah, you're knocking out half the market if you don't
literally
allow.
half the market's gone. So cool conversation today. Appreciate it. So pmassist.com is the place to go.
No, propertymanager.assist.com for the revenue maxing, or alwaysthererepair.co for the maintenance coordination.
Awesome, Todd. Appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Resident Interface is a comprehensive delinquency management solution for property management companies that serve rental properties with over 500 units located in Florida, Georgia, Maryland, and Texas. Resident Interface offers property owners and managers a financially transformative end-to-end delinquency management experience. We're a single contact responsible for the entire process from late payment to eviction management and final debt collection. And we help increase net operating income through technological innovation, operational transparency, and respectful recovery procedures. Learn more today at residentinterface.com.
This has been a podcast episode by PropertyManagementProductions.com. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, leave us feedback, and come back for our next episode.